Did you know that your brain is an anticipation machine and that anxiety is a critical part of how our brain is designed to actually keep us safe and empower us to be our best selves? In this video, we're going to dive deeply into what this means because it might seem a little counterintuitive. My name is Dr. Kate Truitt. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist as well as an applied neuroscientist. That means that I take the nuances of neuroscience and put it into our own hands to create new healing opportunities. Because when we understand how our brain works, we are empowered to actually put the underlying neurobiology of our mind-body system to use. And anxiety is one of those prolific experiences that every human has because it's designed to keep us alive. Our brain is learning every moment of every day how to be its best self for us. And anxiety plays an important role in that opportunity because when our brain knows what to do next, it knows it can take a step to keep us safe. That word safe is really important when we think about anxiety because anxiety is all about anticipating what comes next, but it is being driven by a fear part of our system that works very, very, very hard to keep us safe. This little brain part is called the amygdala. We lovingly call her Amy the Amygdala, and she is our fiercest warrior protector. So in this video, we're going to dive deep into a new opportunity for partnering with our brain to create neurobiological change that takes the edge off of anxiety, softens it, and even gives it a new job. Because what we know now is that we can harness the opportunities of neuroscience and our own inherent healing in our hands opportunities to create empowered change. So let's go back to that idea of our brain being an anticipation machine. From the beginning of time, one of the things that has made humans so specifically cool and very different from every other mammal that came before us is the fact that our brain can tell stories. That story making, meaning making, is one of our most powerful tools because it allows us to see into the future. And we also know now that 90% of every present moment is defined by the past. That means that our brain is looking over our shoulder to what has happened back there to make sense of what's going to happen next. And if you're like every other human out there, you've had some difficult things happen in your life. You've learned some tough lessons. And a lot of times those lessons become something that are very, very powerful. But when something big enough, painful enough, or scary enough happens, our brain remembers it, and our friend Amy the Amygdala prioritizes it. So much so that those other learnings, those survival-focused, difficult moments can become the guiding force for how we're thinking about the world. Fun fact about Amy the Amygdala: she is 4 times faster than the blink of an eye. So blink, 4 times faster than that, this little brain part tucked deep in your brain is looking out and making sense of the world for you. She's also 4 times faster than our prefrontal cortex or our thinking brain. And so when she senses stress or a threat, she will hijack our brain and start to guide the way we're making sense of the world. And so the opportunity is to help our brain make better sense of what's happening in any given moment through down-regulating our brain. Now, you may be familiar with something called breath work or another great healing tool, mindfulness. These are known and extremely wonderful tools for down-regulating the body. And did you know that we also can actively and rapidly down-regulate our brain? And here's the even cooler thing. It's a tool we all carry around in our own pocket. It's called human touch. What we've learned is that when we gently apply what's called the havening touch to our own mind and body, we can down-regulate our brain. We can help it become soothed and even teach it to not prioritize the tough stuff as much anymore. So there's 4 different havening touch applications. One, you just saw me do. It's as though you're washing your hands under warm water, rubbing your palms gently together. If you've ever wrung your hands or perhaps picked at your nails, well, you are actually doing a version of self-soothing. And so this is another intentional way to calm your system. The second touch is called arm havening, or I like to call it a havening hug. Tap your fingertips on your shoulders and then move your hands gently down your arms and repeat that motion slowly and gently for as long as it takes to do the next step that we're going to do. But even doing this mechanism when you are feeling anxious at all will start to calm your brain down, as we have little receptors in our skin that go straight up to our brain and release all sorts of feel-good chemicals. Final 2 touches are right across the brow. This is forehead havening, and right under the eyes. So if you've ever wiped away a tear or had a tension headache, these 2 motions may seem familiar. You see, we are hardwired to soothe our brain in moments of difficulty, and those are the tools you're learning right now. As we're applying the havening touch, we can give our brain a different job so that our friend Amy the Amygdala isn't telling anxious stories, isn't narrating worst case scenarios. The way we do that is very simple. We can play some brain games, sing some songs, hum some tunes, even imagine that you're playing your favorite sport. So let me give you an example. If you've ever bounced a basketball or hit a tennis ball, maybe played a round of volleyball, pick your favorite. I'll invite you to imagine that you are interacting with the ball 5 times. So imagine bouncing a basketball 5 times in your mind's eye. Notice the weight of the ball in your hands, the color of it, the texture, maybe even a smell, and hear the sound of the ball as it leaves your hand and goes to the ground and comes back up. Kind of feels like you're doing it, right? Well, that's a distraction. And it's hard to think about hard, scary things or anxiety-producing things when our brain is distracted. Now, here's the bonus. When we imagine doing a distraction while applying the havening touch, we're actually down-regulating our brain out of a red zone or even an orange or yellow zone, and supporting our system and moving into a state of neutral or even calm. So we can help our brain out. We can wrap a warm, fuzzy blanket around it to help it be soothed and to regain our internal balance in any moment. We can incorporate any mindfulness games that you're already using as wonderful distractions. So if you do breath work, if you know that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, if you've ever had high levels of anxiety or panic, tuning into your senses, you can even notice looking around your room and find 5 objects for every color of the rainbow while applying the havening touch. This is a warm, fuzzy blanket for your amygdala that will calm her down and allow you to come back into your best state of being and to move into the future in your preferred way.